I got a PlayStation shirt on. You know what that means. Sony just did a State of Play event, the third one this year. It's about 35 minutes long. I'm going to summarize everything that happened. One thing I'm super excited for. 6 days ago, Sony streamed a 35-minute nibleted juice for the gamers on the PlayStation side of the house, Team Blue, if you will. To summarize the bluff or bottom line up front, the biggest headliners here are going to be new looks at Marvel Rivals, Monster Hunter Wilds, and release dates for Concord and Silent Hill 2. And saving the best for last, because I'm going to talk about it probably more than anything else here, there is an Astrobot full-length game coming, which I mentioned during my review of Astrobot from 3 years ago, that it was such a juicy experience, such a great launch title to have pre-installed on the console to introduce you to the features of the DualSense, but also it was such a charming game, very reminiscent of what PlayStation used to do with things like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro. Plus you had all that nostalgia factor that all the collectibles are old school consoles and accessories, and everything about it was just a pure enjoyable experience. And it was like the first experience that you probably got when you got your console, because it's pre-installed, you didn't have to pay any extra shekels or caps, but it was really short. You got a lot of pleasure out of it, but right up front, and it was really short. There's not a lot of in-game replay ability there. And that's where this new Astrobot full-length game comes into play, something that myself and many other nerds out there, like the gentleman at Digital Foundry, have been just chomping at the bit for. The event popped a cap in that ass with a new gameplay trailer from Firewalk Studios' upcoming 5v5 multiplayer shooter, Concord. The showcase was a combination of a pre-rendered cutscene, kind of a cinematic trailer, and then on the ass end, the second part was some actual gameplay, which showed the various characters, factions, weapons, playstyles. And it's important to make note that this will be released on PC and PS5 August 23rd, but the studio's also going to host a beta in July. And keep in mind, with all the hoopla going around about PlayStation subscriptions being necessary now for PlayStation titles on PC, just go ahead and expect that you're going to have to make a PSN account. And if you can't because you're region locked, then just, you know, it's stupid, I know. God of War Ragnarok, tell the console to suck a cock because it's coming to PC. Well, actually it ran fucking great on the PS5 and, you know, was great there. But anyway, it's coming to PC now this September. As we've seen with many PlayStation first-party exclusives, they start on the console and then about a year later, sometimes 2.5 years later, they make their way with a PC port that's always a beautifully polished product. But it's coming to PC September 19th. And the important note is that PC version's also going to include the Valhalla DLC and PC specific features such as support for ultra wide monitors, unlocked frame rates, and super sampling tech like DLSS and FSR. I'm going to be honest, all four of those features that were mentioned, ultra wide support, unlocked frame rates, and then DLSS, which is the NVIDIA side of the house, or FSR, which is the AMD giblet juice. I'm sorry, I'm not very articulate today. Those should all be standard staples, just expected features. I guess maybe because it's a PC port of an existing PlayStation 5 title, but any game built and designed for PC should absolutely have those features expected. And it should be no surprise that players will have to have a PlayStation Network account to play that PC version of Ragnarok, which we've seen a whole hell of a lot of hoopla with the Bullschlaga of Helldivers 2 and Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, both requiring a PSN account. And a lot of players simply can't do that because they're region restrict, they're locked. It is stupid. It's dumb. It's absolutely dumb. Not a huge deal, just an inconvenience if you're not region blocked. But if you are region locked, what the fuck, you know? Dynasty Warriors Origins has been announced. It's coming next year. That's from Omega Force Studios. That's a hack and slash over the shoulder style game. And in a PlayStation blog post, the Origins producer Kamajiko Sho revealed that the Origins will depict the chaos of 3 kingdoms for the first time in the Dynasty Warriors franchise, with players taking control of a nameless hero. I don't know why I needed 2 hands for that, I guess to get around the microphone. This is not, I'm in tight quarters right now. More interestingly, Sho revealed that Omega Force is leveraging the PS5's technology to create an all-new warrior-like battlefield that will provide massive armies as far as the eye can fucking see. Dynasty Warriors Origins is coming to PS5 next year. Former Zelda director Kentaro Tominaga, I fucking nailed that first time, is going to be slapping you sideways with Infinity Nikki, a vibrant open world RPG, which got a cinematic teaser trailer. And this was previously described as an open world dress up adventure. The Reports that the titular character will arrive on the continent of Maraland. Along with her friend Momo, she will travel to various nations, each with a different history and culture to explore. In addition, Nikki will encounter a ton of adorable characters. No firm release date, but there is going to be a beta test starting in Q3 of this year. Everstone Studios' martial arts adventure Where Winds Meet is coming to PS5. That was originally announced at Gamescom opening night live 2023. If you want something a little darker, gonna take it to a serious tip for a minute, Ballad of Antera, a dark fantasy RPG game, is going to be releasing sometime this year. A brand new IP from Tipsworks Studios, and this is a free-to-play title that the studio head said he wants to be the highest fidelity. Seems like some buzzwords, you know? I want to meet Fidel though, and Itty, the whole squad. Fidelity, get him around here. I'm gonna hit you with a direct quote here. For this new IP, we set out to create a vast world, both in geological scale and cultural variation. In the normal version of the world, the common folks reside. In another version of the world, peculiar sightings and encounters await. We call this unimaginable part of the world Para. Fundamental essences are sucked away and trapped inside Para from the invasion of an ancient power. And that's where the story begins. You might have thought, fuck, this is the end? No, that's just the beginning for you. If you've played Saints and Sinners, which is a massive VR game that's on virtually all the platforms, I was a big fan of Saints and Sinners. I mean, it really does depend on what platform you play on, but the PC version where you can really crank up all the settings to the right, it actually looks pretty good, plays pretty fun, it's a great game, and the studio behind it, Skydance, is working on Behemoth, which is their next major project, set in the Forsaken Lands, which is described as a once great civilization that's now a barren wasteland, so not much of a stretch from their previous Saints and Sinners, which is a Walking Dead post-apocalyptic wasteland. But here you have to worry about the environment as well, as players are going to have to endure the cold and hostile enemies, which is really cool because any environment battle games where you, or I guess I should say survival games where you're battling the elements in VR is really fun because it's a lot more immersive to have to put on clothing or build a fire when you're actually doing the motions yourself. I guess that can be said for anything. I mean, opening and eating a can of beans is more satisfying in VR than just sitting on the couch and pressing a button. It doesn't mean I want to do it all the time. A lot of times I just want a flat screen game experience. Most of the time, actually. But very excited to strap a VR headset to my noggin when Behemoth drops. Another PSVR2 title on the horizon. Alien Rogue Incursion is going to be out near the holidays. And this is in the Unreal 5 engine, which is sick because Unreal 5 engine VR games look and feel fucking dope. Could have worded that a little bit more articulately, but they're the bee's knees and the mule's nips. Enough said. Drop it and run it. In a PS blog post, Survivor's chief product officer TK Jefferson wrote that this upcoming horror game is a single-player action horror game with an all-new storyline. Sign me up. You got a pin? There's a closed beta coming in July for Marvel Rivals, superhero team-focused PvP shooter featuring Marvel Comics superheroes, which is not only coming to the console but also PC and Mac, which is, you know, that's rare. You don't really see a lot of games on Mac. It's not a big gaming platform. Marvel Rivals has no release date, but we did get another look at gameplay and the news tidbit that in July the closed beta is set. Until Dawn got a new trailer, which the last thing I've heard about that was its announcement back in January. So we didn't get a firm release date. We got a little bit of a flaccid one here. It's coming to PS5 and PC in fall. Path of Exile is coming in early access. I mean, you're going to be coming too if you're a fan of that game. The sequel, Path of Exile 2, is going to be here in late 2024. That's early access, and that is going to have co-op support. Now, you know what kind of co-op? The one that I always rant and rave about, how it's dying and it should come back because it's so goddamn fun, especially if you got a girlfriend or fiance or significant other that likes to play games with you, or you like to throw an old school LAN party with the boys. Okay, nobody does that, but couch co-op, so fucking fun. You know, you've got a person, a flesh bag next to you, breathing the same air as you. It's really cool to pop a controller in their hand and get to play in a game together. And games that do that really well, like A Way Out or It Takes Two, are just a fun fucking experience. Couch co-op, bring it back, please. As Path of Exile 2 is doing. Silent Hill 2 finally got itself a release date. That's coming October 8th for PC and PS5. So you're noticing a trend here. A lot of these PlayStation games are coming to PC, either launching simultaneously on the console and PC or getting ported over, which isn't a surprise here because I covered the news, it's like 2 years ago now, that PlayStation was going to be making this move. Boom, we're here now. Console exclusivity, not as big of a thing as it used to be on the Sony platform. Capcom was kind enough to grace us with a new look at Monster Hunter Wilds, which was an announced at the 2023 Game Awards. You were there, sitting in the front row. I saw you. I waved. You didn't wave back. I don't know. We got a new trailer. It looks like a fucking game to me. And the game I am most excited for was Team Asobi as they unveiled Astrobot, which is coming in September. So my birds have been whispering in the courtyard. I've been hearing a lot of rumors down the gaming grapevine, so to speak, that an Astrobot full-length game was coming. And yes, it's coming in September. Super excited about that because the little Astrobot game that's pre-installed on the PS5 is a knee-slapping good time, and you'll probably slap your knee pretty raw, not even dislocated if you're a big PlayStation fan, because each little game world, which you can play through the entire game in like one sitting if you don't have to get up and take a piss or anything, but each one of the game worlds is a component inside the PS5. So you have the SSD speedway and the GPU jungle and the CPU cooler, which I thought was really cool. And then you also have this collectible room where you have a mural on the wall of all this sick PlayStation heritage and history, which is cool because I was alive for all of that. Brought back a lot of memories of my gaming past, and it was fucking sick. And the gameplay is super fun, and this is going to extend on that. Let's get all the deets out of the way. It's coming September 6th. It is exclusive to the PlayStation 5. It's going to be titled Astrobot, and this character has been seen in a VR game from the PlayStation 4 era, and then the launch title on the PS5. As Astrobot, you're going to be exploring over 80 levels spanning 6 galaxies, 6 themed galaxies, I'm sure, looking for Astro's missing crew. What it do? I'm fucking ready for it. The trailer showed forests, sandy beaches, volcanoes, all the cool settings and backdrops, vistas that you would expect in a charming platformer like this. And it's also going to have a dank soundtrack, catchy music, and a ton of references to previous PlayStation franchises, or current franchises I should say, such as God of War, Parappa the Rappa, Easter eggs aplenty. I'm super excited for it. That was the third State of Play event this year, covered, summarized. This video probably wasn't much shorter than the actual Sony video, but now you've got my thoughts, and I was able to rant and rave and massage the beads of Astrobot a little bit. I'm very excited. Drop in the comment section below what got you most tickled in the gamer nether regions from this State of Play event, or did none of it? Did you just flaccid, limp all the way? And I will see you Stallions and Stallionettes tomorrow, or maybe later today if I post another video, like a short form or something. You'll see me around soon. Peace. If you enjoyed the video, liking it helps it to get seen by more gamers, so this information will reach and assist them as well. Much like the back of the TV, I've got plugs for all of my socials down there in the description below. And your wallet will greatly thank you if you check the description, because there are exclusive discounts on a ton of products, including controllers, KontrolFreeks, keyboards, mouse pads, clothes, and energy drinks. And keep in mind that you, the viewer, keep this channel running. The more Stallions and Stallionettes trotting around the stable, the better, so mollywop that subscribe button like it owes you money, and we'll have the same amount of fun tomorrow.